Hey everyone, this is Marquez Ball. Prayerfully all is well. God laid it on my heart to record this brief little message, and I pray that it's a blessing to you. Right now we are in the Advent season, and Advent is normally a season 4 weeks prior to Christmas where we reflect on how good God has been for us. Those 4 weeks are also a time when we run out to stores and try to get the best deals, buying Sharkeisha and them gifts and things of that nature. It's also when we're buying our flights and looking forward to spending time with family. But those who recognize Advent will know that this is the second week of Advent. And the second week of Advent is a time when we reflect on peace. And so I want to talk a little bit about peace. It's a term that we often use, but rarely do we know what it means when we use it, particularly for someone who's experiencing peace. For example, peace defined is to say that you've experienced difficulty, trials, or you've been faced with violence, but you got through it. And once you get through it, you experience the peace of coming out of it. Peace normally comes out of difficulty. For example, there's a lady who agreed to watch her grandkids. Now this lady had 4 grandkids, and they were bad. They were baby's kids. These were some of the worst little grandkids you could have. And so their mother dropped them off at her mom's house because she was going out of town. So grandmother welcomes her grandkids in, and they just take off running, tearing up stuff in grandmama's house. And they've got 2 in the living room who have the TV on. They're fighting over the remote and what they want to watch. She's got her grandson in one room with his music as loud as he can get it. She's got her granddaughter on her iPad playing Candy Crush. It was a lot going on in grandmama's house for 2 days. Eventually, her mom came back to get her kids, and she hugged them, and she loved them, but she couldn't wait to see them little jokers going. So as soon as they left, she closed the door, she turned around, and she saw that her house was in disarray. TV was still on, the music was still blasting in one room. She turned the television off, turned the music off, straightened up her house, sat down, took a deep breath, and just let it go. And in that moment, she experienced peace. Then her friend knocked on the door. She invited her friend in. They sat on the couch. She still didn't turn the television on, and she just sat in silence. And her friend looked at her and said, "Girl, what is wrong with you?" She told her friend, "If you had been through what I had been through the last couple of days, you would understand why I'm experiencing peace right now." Peace comes when we have been faced with challenging something that's difficult for us. And in our text, which is found in Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 and 7, we learn a little bit about peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 and 7. Here's what it says. "For a child will be born to us, a son will be given to us, and the government will rest on his shoulders. And his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace. There will be no end to the increase of his government or of his peace, on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and to uphold it with justice and righteousness from then on and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will accomplish this." Isaiah is writing during a time when the people of Judah were experiencing a difficulty. They were experiencing a challenge. Let me help you to understand a little bit about the context, then you can really understand the text. See, they were near the Assyrian Empire. And the Assyrians were the big dog for many years. Assyrians ran everything. They were in essence the bully of all other nations. But now Assyria for many years had been on its last leg. For 75 years, the people who ruled Assyria were kind of weak. And so they weren't really going around conquering lands. And so those nations around them got comfortable. They took it easy, they were prosperous, and in their mind they thought God has to be pleased with us because we're so blessed right now. Nobody's trying to fight us. In essence, they're saying, I ain't got no worries, I ain't worried about nothing, They were enjoying their lives. 75 years. And then a new king came in Assyria. He came, and immediately everybody got worried because he became a challenge and a threat for all of them. And so now Isaiah is writing to Judah, and he's saying to them, yes, you're going to go through a lot of difficulty because the years coming are not going to be easy. However, know this, God is going to send one that's going to usher in a time of peace. This is what he's saying to them for their immediate time, but that time of peace was something that we understand now because we have Jesus. They had no idea that the peace which Isaiah was talking about was for many years to come. It's a peace that comes with Jesus. There was a song that says, if I never had a problem, how would I know that God could solve them? How would I know what faith in his word could do? Through it all, I've learned to depend on Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. If we never experience trying times, we would not really know what it means for God to usher in peace. If you were to take a moment just to think about the hell you went through last week and the peace that you may experience after coming out of it, you know what it means for God to give you peace. If you were to think about your last month and the hell that you went through last month, and to see that God brought you through it, then you know a little bit about peace. But then if you were to go further and think what you went through in January, February, March up to now, lost a job, the 2-week cutoff from the government really hurts you, so-and-so left you and you got the kids by yourself, you got put out your place, the health issues that you're experiencing that you really didn't know how you would make it through it. But now you're in the 2nd week of Advent and you can look how far God has brought you and you can say, man, I've been through something, but God got me through it. I know a little bit about his peace. There was a man that was looking for a painting that really described peace. This man went to all kind of art shows, and he wanted a picture that would really express peace. He looked at all kind of paintings, and none of them really fit for him. And so he decided he was going to make up a competition. He made up a competition where he said he would look for painters to paint something that expressed peace. The competition kind of got popular, and so painters started painting all kind of paintings, and they sent them to this man. He got stuff from all over the world, and he's going to reveal which one was the top one at some point in time. Well, months go by, and he gets all kinds of paintings, and finally he says, okay, we're ready to reveal the winning painting. So people came from all around. He had all these paintings lined up. He had the judges reveal one painting, and they said, it was a beautiful painting. And one more, and they all gasped and they clapped and they were excited about the painting. They were all very beautiful. Got down to the last 2 paintings, and the judge removed the 2nd one, and everyone marveled. They clapped because it was a beautiful lake. It was so still. The sky was blue. There were no clouds in the sky. There was a beautiful green pasture, and there were sheep just grazing in the pasture. It was a beautiful, picturesque day. And the people thought, this has to be the winner. What can be more peaceful than that? And the man that organized the competition said he will reveal the last one. And so he walked up to the painting, and he revealed it. And the people were kind of shocked. They were startled because to them, this picture didn't really look like peace. It was of a waterfall, and it looked like it was cold, like you could almost feel the coldness from the splashes of the water. Not only that, it was a dark storm cloud above this waterfall, and it looked like the clouds were about to burst, and there was lightning in the air, and people could not quite understand why this would be the winning painting. But if you look closely, there was a bird that was in the cleft of a rock underneath the waterfall, sitting in its nest. The bird has its eyes closed and its wings spread, getting ready to cover its eggs. For this bird, the bird had found peace in spite of all that was going on around it, in spite of the loud noise from the waterfall, in spite of the storm clouds that were about to burst above, in spite of the lightning that was going to be flashing, the bird had found peace in the midst of chaos. Brothers and sisters, that's the kind of peace that God ushers in for us. The reality is, through life we will have difficulties, we will have trying times, but the blessing is that through it all, God will give us a peace which surpasses all understanding. This is Rev Ball. This is our second week of Advent, and we're looking at peace. This week, think about all that God has brought you through. Take a moment, whether it's at a red light or you sitting at your desk at work tomorrow, to reflect on the peace of God. May God bless you. May God keep you. Peace.